Hi friends. So we're gonna work a little hip differentiation. This is one of my favorite exercises because everybody hates it, including myself. So you have options here. Really, like if you have a magic circle, that's probably my favorite. Next would be an overball, and last you could also use a yoga brick. So I'll show you the different options here. You're going to have a yoga brick on the floor, and you're going to bring one foot to stand on top of that yoga brick. And then you're going to bring a prop right into your hip, above your greater trochanter in that kind of well of your hip. And so, you know, it could be a ball here between your hip and the wall, or magic circle. And I'm going to use a magic circle for these purposes, just for space. So you have to find this sweet spot when you're setting up your prop so that you have enough pressing into the wall to challenge that outer hip and to find roughly neutral-ish, right? So without being hiked. So you're not like leaning into the wall, and that prop isn't pushing you away from the wall, but you're finding a little bit of pressure into the wall to find something equal-ish, right? And we're not totally balanced, so like it's never gonna be perfect. All right, so you got one foot on that yoga brick. The foot closest to the wall is dangling. And then I want you to take the arm next to the wall, and you're just gonna press into it. And we're gonna think all the same shoulder stuff that we've been working on. We're gonna press into that pinky side of the hand. We're gonna find that little shoulder plug back. And I'm gonna use my hands just to check in and make sure, oh look, my hip's a little rotated, okay. And then I'm gonna think back of the skull, back of the ribs, back of the sacrum. So I'm a little further back in my heel than I even think. And I'm gonna work through the ball of my foot so that my toes don't come up. And then lastly, I'm just gonna check and make sure that I'm not rotated one way or the other, mostly. So here's my grounding. And then that foot that's not on the yoga brick, you can kind of let it dangle. And we're just gonna let this dangling foot, that hip, is gonna drop down. And so my standing leg hip is gonna lift up. And really my femur's pushing out into that glute tissue. And then I'm gonna think about pulling that up and under my butt to bring it back to neutral-ish. And then we're gonna drop it down and push and lift to bring it back. Now, if you're feeling this a lot in the front of your hip, you may need to think about externally rotating the femur a little bit and maybe shifting your weight a little further back into your heel than you think, really getting it into your butt. So we're gonna go ahead and do 6 more of those hip diffs. A little down, a little up, and a little down, and a little up, and 3, 4, 5, last one, 6, and hold here. As always, knees not locked out. I didn't say that at the beginning, but that should always be the thing. All right, so knee isn't locked out, foot's really active. You're gonna take that standing leg, keep reaching through that brick, and that floating leg is gonna push out to the wall, and then dangle back under you. And again, for 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then rest and shake them. And just for time's sake, I'm not going to do the other side, so you can just rinse and repeat by rewinding. But if any questions come up in terms of the specifics of this, you can always leave me a message, and I will respond back. All right, have fun.